Nice. And this is my good friend Teresa.
That's right. Here we are on Hudson's farm and we're at Marjorie's cottage, and today we're going to cook with shellfish.
Well, what are you going to cook?
I'm going to cook clam chowder.
Yeah, I'm going to make escargot using whelks. And you were up really early this morning getting these. Where did you go?
I was. Notice the bags under my eyes.
Uh-huh.
I went down to our beach right in front of our house in Reed Island. Had a really hard time getting these. They're a little scarce in February. Got some cockles.
Yeah, they're nice big shells.
That's right.
I really like the ridges on these ones too. They're nice, big, easy to find. You get lots for when you find what you find.
That's right, and beautiful to use after you've used them too for anything
nice
that
shell,
you
yeah.
want. Yeah.
And
This is a manila, and it has designs on the backs and so forth.
yeah, very pretty. They always sort of remind me of a carpet or tapestry. They're really very pretty.
They are. Yeah. Now, I'm going to take just a couple seconds to compare. This is a Pacific Little Neck. I hope I didn't offend the clam diggers and I got it right. And this is a manila. And you notice that the manila is a little bit different on the edge. Seems to have
more
a bigger.
oval, eh? And one side's fatter.
Yeah, that's right. So there we go.
Nice.
Yum, yum.
Yeah. And I think these are called dog whelks. And then we also have Winkies is the littler ones are Winkies and the big ones are dog whelks. And we have a guest that came with us. This is a hermit crab.
Perfect.
Yeah. And I bet that pinched you when you were on the beach.
It did. If you can imagine, it's late at night. I've got the dog and I'm chicken of the woods because I'm always scared of the night. So I'm down there with the flashlight. Seems like it's going dead. And I've missed the tide a little bit again. So I have to dig my hand or put my hands into the water. And something bit me.
Yikes.
And this is what it was. And I thought, well, obviously he wants to come visit Camp River. And I'll just put him back on the beach when I'm done.
Great.
So this is him.
Well, let's get cooking.
Sounds good. Let's get cooking.
So the first thing we're going to cook today is some escargot with the whelks, and they are in the same family. They're both mollusks, and so we're going to put these beautiful little spiral shells into the hot water. Whelks benefit greatly from a quick, gentle cooking. I've got the water boiling. I'm going to just dump them in. Okay, and while that's going, I'm going to melt some butter. And on a fairly high heat, medium heat. Okay, so I've got butter. Good, quarter of a cup of butter. We like butter. And some garlic. I've got one in here. I'm going to just do I really want a lot of garlic flavor, so I'm going to squish it through the press. That's going to release a lot of the oil. And I've got a few more here. I've altogether about 3, and if you really like garlic, 4 cloves of garlic. Go in. And about a third of a cup of parsley. And a splash of white wine. Let's just let that butter melt down a bit more first. There we go. It's pretty green, that parsley. Okay, and a splash of wine. That's probably about 3 tablespoons of wine. Just a white wine is what I'm putting in. I'm going to take these out of the pot now and take them out of the shell. So let's take this one. What I find that works best is a corkscrew, because this is a spiral shaped shell. It's going to pull the meat out with sort of a hook-like action. So I'm going into the shell and just pulling it out. And it sort of stretches, you have to kind of pull it. And then I've done a few more here. And you have to be a little patient with it. It's a little tricky, but well worth it. The flavor's great. And I steamed them for a good 15 minutes. The other tool I was using was just a straight skewer. And it looks like you're going to do lobotomy, but really you're just pulling whelks out. Okay, so the next step is to take your butter and we'll drizzle it some in. Fill the shell, a little bit in each shell. There we go, with the parsley and the garlic. Okay. You want to sort of fill it up with butter. A lot of butter. There we go. And then just stick the whelk meat on top. Sort of back in it goes into like a bed of parsley there. Try to fit the right ones back in. And, ooh, our little one didn't get filled, a little winky. There we go. And just a little more butter over the top. Ooh, yeah. Okay. And that's ready for the table.
So here we are, and I'm going to cook some clam chowder. So what I do is I have some bacon here that I've got in a frying pan, because bacon does add a nice flavor to clam chowder. So we've got the onions in here. Come on, little onion. Chopsticks. So I'm just going to stir this, and it's going to keep cooking. So that'll stay there. I've got water boiling here. Ta-da! And in goes the clams and the cockles. Here is where I'm going to cook the vegetables that are for the clam chowder. I've got potatoes and celery, parsley, and somewhere in here I've also got some fresh oregano. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of this into a pot that I've got some water in, and that's going to cook. Then I just go back here, give this a stir. Those guys are cooking, and I'm just going to quickly chop up some tomatoes. I prefer Roma tomatoes just because they seem to have more flavor, and most Italian dishes always seem to call for Roma tomatoes. So got one there, got some more, just quickly chop it up. Doesn't have to be anything too uniform because it should basically just go into little pieces of tomatoes. Now there's two kinds of clam chowder, and I've opted for the red kind, which I think is called maybe the Manhattan clam chowder. Okay, another couple ones here. Just gives it a nice red flavor, red color, and doesn't seem to hurt the flavor. Now I just do want to take a couple minutes to add, as my stuff here is boiling over. I don't add carrots to my seafood dishes, especially my clam chowders. For some reason I find that the flavor of the carrots turns the soup into an odd flavor. So anyways, what I'm trying to tell you is that I personally don't add carrots. But if you like carrots, go ahead. I usually just stick to onions, potatoes, celery, and bacon, and then the spices and the tomatoes. So we've got that happening, and we've got that happening, and we have this boiling over. Now, I just wanted to take a couple minutes here to explain something that was really important. When you're in a store and you have the clams that are packaged in a package, take a couple minutes and hit on the top of the plastic, the top of the shell. If the shell doesn't close, it's dead. Don't eat them, okay? I'm always a little bit of a nervous Nelly, so even if they just don't close tightly just a little bit, I still don't want to eat it. People really have to be careful with shellfish. So when you do have clams that don't close, that means that they're not fresh. Off to the composter, but not in your soup. Okay, so we have this happening here, and we're going to check to see if the clams are ready. And we have to be very careful. And they are ready. So this is a beautiful, beautiful picture. So you can see here, this is this is a cockle. Cockles, their meats are a lot bigger than the other shellfish. So I'm just going to put it on a little plate here so that you can look at it a little bit better. This is a cockle. The whole thing is edible. Even the foot. When I'm on the beach, if I know that it's no red tide warnings, I'll actually break open the shell, discard this part, only because I'm eating it raw, and eat the foot. And I find it really sweet tasting. But for now we won't do that. So, we've got that happening here. So I'm going to go over here and add this stuff. To here. So we get all these things. Ta-da! Maybe we'll use a, oh, there we go. In Marjorie's kitchen. She's got the utensils. Okay, so we're going to add all this stuff in here. Okay, so I'm just going to put that there. And of course we have to be careful because we are with hot items. And so you can see that the soup is starting to have a really beautiful color here. We've got the bacon, we've got the tomatoes, we've got the onions, and we've got these lovely guys here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over here just so that you can see what I'm doing. See, the clams just pop out. Oh, there's a whelk. Okay, so we get all clams out. It's hot, but it still works. Ah, they don't open. More clams, different size clams. And the shells are quite pretty too that we can use for other things. Okay. So, at this stage, you just take the clam meats out and you're just adding them to the soups. Done. It's hot. You got to be quick. Now, all parts of the clam I use. I guess some people, they remove the little foot, which is this part right here, but I eat everything. So clams, more clams. Oh, there's another cockle. Now, seeing as the cockles are a little bit bigger, you might just want to chop it up a little bit. Just so that you have all of your seafood basically the same size. Okay, more. Ha! There's another cockle. Now the foot is actually quite hollow to a part. So you could always use it for other dishes if you want to stuff them and so forth like that. Okay. I'm not gonna do anything with the ones that don't want to come out right now. So let's take a look at what we have here. And this is our clam chowder. There we go. Enjoy.
Wow, Tracy, this soup looks really good.
Thanks, Lise. And I sure do like the way your dog wells turned out. Looks absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Well, cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. I'm hungry, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.